The latest census shows that for every 1,000 women in Singapore, there are just 974 men. Imagine that.
Yes, the difference has become more glaring over the last 10 years. Back in 2000, there were 998 men to every 1,000 women.
Do you think it's going to be a problem? I just read the statistics. I think there are a lot of single women, especially Singaporean ladies, are unable to find husbands of that able to match them. Yes, if I have a daughter, I'll be worried that she can't get a husband next time. Because she has to compete with, a lot of less competitive but more docile female.
Definitely more men would stray, I guess. Probably. The middle-aged men, probably. Yeah.
So, do you think it's going to cause problems?
Social problems? Yeah, probably.
Well, it depends on what the women are looking for in the man. Because nowadays, Singapore women are also very well qualified. And I think sometimes they put career first than marriage.
No, the world is global, so they can go out and find a man.
No, I don't think it will, because everyone has their own preferences.
Well, experts pin the influx of women down to the fact that most of the foreign-born women in Singapore are foreign brides or immigrants working in traditionally female jobs such as in the service industry or healthcare. So are we talking about more competition for Singaporean females here?
I don't know if it's more competition for females, but I do know that my husband is Dutch, and I had to bring him into Singapore as a permanent resident. And I found out that was a really hard and long process. It took 9 months, whereas if you were a Singapore male, it was automatically assumed that you could bring your wife in. So you're limiting also the influx of males. If you're a Singaporean female, you have to think twice.
I've got no complaints at all about the situation. I think it's perfect. It makes perfect sense, yeah. Do you know we do have low birth rate problems? Perhaps this is meant to address that, I don't know. Biologically speaking, eggs are much more hard to come by than sperm, So
I think while our citizenship law has in a way tried to remove the gender inequality, I think there is still that patriarchal approach. If you have a Singaporean woman married to a foreign man, it's like, okay, the foreign man is trying to take advantage of our situation here, and to provide for them, whereas if the Singaporean man decides to marry a foreign bride, the Singaporean man should be able to take care of the foreign wife, So I think that sort of mindset needs to change.
The other thing that we need to look at is, besides just, once again, blaming on the foreigners, maybe let's just take a look at how Singaporeans are renewing ourselves in terms of numbers, right? Let's take a look at the fertility rate of Singapore at this point. As of 2009, the fertility rate is 1.22. It is slided down from, the previous 1.28 of last year. Well, these numbers are really a far cry from the rate that we need, which is 2.1. So we are not really renewing ourselves very well, are we?
This goes back to the whole crux of the immigration policy, right? The idea that we need to top up the population. And I suppose, with Singaporean women having a lot more opportunities today, right? I don't know, maybe the policy makers are thinking, we need to bring in more women, so that, with more Singaporean women overseas, we need more women back home.
Well, one of the points brought up on the streets just now, that the world is global. It's all out there. But be like me, instead of, don't victimize yourself. You're not a victim. Go out there and get it. Right.
You can do Facebook dating.
There's so many options out there. We're not just limited to Singapore. We can import our males, right?
But the fertility rate is actually linked to the transport problem.
Oh, it is. Tell me about it. It's back to the transport now, is it?
I'd like to know how.
If you go home, if you want to go home and you can't get home in time and you spend 1 hour getting home, you don't feel like doing anything after that, do you?
How do you make babies after being so tired, right?
Yes.
We may laugh, but we're actually talking about a better quality of life on the whole. We're talking about dipping fertility rates, we're talking about a space crunch, the influx of foreigners. We're really talking about what lies ahead for Singapore's future. How are our lives all going to be in the future? What do we imagine it to be? Let's talk about it next.